finding any other such. We can see what we can do, even if it's outdoors or something like that.
It seems like most people are doing outdoor stuff, like any any rehearsal, anything like that. It's all, well, at least from what I've heard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're doing that, and they're using gyms. I'm not sure about gyms yet, like ventilation, because I just heard of another choir in Spain that everybody got sick because they had a rehearsal indoors.
Not about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know Aeolians are using their gym, I think, but in small numbers. And other places they're using some open spaces. Their auditoriums and spacing people out at least 12 feet for singers. And then the outdoor one. Then there's one that I saw of they're using FM radio, like they drive to the same parking lot and everybody tunes into the same station, and I don't remember somehow. Oh, right now, okay. And they could hear each other that way. Okay, so we are live. Let me get started here. There's an echo. Do you guys hear the echo?
I didn't start the video. Share the screen.
Okay. All right, I think we are ready to start. So I'm going to ask Jasmine if you would be so kind as to give us our opening prayer.
Sure. Everybody, bow your heads and close your eyes. Prepare. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for waking us up this morning and allowing us to see another day. Thank you for allowing us to get through another work day. Please continue to be with us through the rest of the week. Thank you for everybody that's here. Please help our choir chat to run smoothly. And thank you for all your many blessings. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, Jasmine. Welcome, everybody, to our 5th choir chat session. This is the Sligo Youth and Young Adult Choir. And every once in a while, we get together and discuss different topics that affect young adults and youth, especially during these times, these COVID and quarantine times, and see how we can use music to get through it and come up with solutions to daily problems that we have in our lives. Some of our past guests have been Pastor Mario Broussard. Our first one, I really want to say his name wrong.
Felipe Suarez.
Yes, Pastor Felipe Suarez. Miss Melanie Kwan, our music therapist that came and talked with us about music therapy and how we can incorporate that and what it's about. And this evening, we are here to talk about productivity and, the gift of time that we have now. Our schedules have changed and we have gift in a different package. And what are we doing with that time? So at this time, I'll hand it over to Miss Naomi and Alexis to get us going.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Ms. Mufumbe. Just before Alexis starts, I will go ahead and share our video real quick, which I'm very proud of because I think he represents us very well. Can you guys hear?
Has it started?
Oh, you
I
can.
usually see your Windows Explorer.
Oh, but not this. Okay.
Not the video.
2 seconds. How can I do that? Okay. So let's try that again. Do you see it now? All right, perfect. Let me know if you hear the sound too.
I don't hear any sound.
Me neither. I'm like, okay, so
No
just
sound. Yeah.
I recall there used to be something leave computer audio maybe.
There should be a share computer audio in the options when you share your screen, like at the very top.
Audio. Well, let's have Alexis share the questions while I try to figure it out.
Okay, sounds
Really
good.
not my gift, but okay.
Yeah, there should be like a share audio button. But while you're looking into it, I have a question for everyone. Okay. So is there something that you've been trying to do for a while, maybe throughout quarantine, that you keep saying you're going to do, but you can never really get consistent about it, or you just haven't gotten around to it yet, even though we've been like at home for months and months and months?
I can go first. Well, for those of you who don't know, I did music education in school. So, my instrument was voice, and I graduated in 2016. So it's going to be 5 years since I graduated. And through that time, I haven't really had any voice lessons, to continue with singing and because, singing is a muscle. So, like you need to keep singing to, keep your skill. So that's one thing that I've been trying to do. So signing up for either voice lessons or choir, which, we finally got the opportunity to have it. And for months and months, I kept saying, I'm going to sign up for voice lessons, either with my old voice teacher or online or whatever. And I finally signed up for something. So I'm doing a online voice lesson.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, it is a muscle. That's so true. You go a while without singing. At least for me, I go a while without singing. I try to open my mouth that next time. I'm like, whew, I should have been practicing.
Yeah.
Anyone else have something that you've been saying? If only I had time. If only I had time. And now we have time.
Yeah, me. Well, throughout the whole pandemic, I've been saying I was gonna like work out more often. And like in the beginning, I was doing it pretty consistently, honestly. Then I think I started working in June, and I started like getting less and less. Now I started school since August, so I'm like, it keeps getting less and less. But I'm telling myself I gotta start getting back on track.
Same here. I must definitely agree with that. I was going to share since the video's not trying to play. And this is an incentive for you to go visit our social media pages at Sligo Youth Official or at Sligo YA and see this amazing video that our media team put together. But for me, answering the question, something is what Robbie has actually said. I have been trying to exercise, but for some reason, when I get to day 18, I've gone far. Day 18 is like, whoa, day 18 for real? But I don't know, I just cannot seem to keep it, consistently every time. So that's something that I tend to pick up and then leave for a while. And then I'm like, yeah, let's exercise and be toned. And then, yeah, it doesn't happen consistently. So that's my challenge.
Anybody else? Aisley, Valerie, Jasmine? Okay, so well, we'll get to share more about that in a little while. So Alexis and Naomi, you guys can continue there.
Well, I think it was important that we pose the question because so many times we feel like, especially during this time, you know, any other time of any period in our lives, perhaps we feel like, okay, it's just me being lazy, or maybe it's me not getting serious about it. But I feel like now, because of COVID, for a lot of people who used to have a very particular schedule, it feels like maybe we lost our rhythm. So if you used to wake up at 5:30 and exercise, go for a run, or whatever it was, and then you would come back and take a shower and do this and that. You kind of had a set of things that you would do because you had to be at work by 8 o'clock, or you have to be to go to class at 9 o'clock, whatever it may be. But now, because everything is happening remotely, sometimes we feel like, well, I don't need to wake up 2 hours before my class because I'm not taking the bus, or I'm not doing all these things that I would do regularly. Now I can just wake up literally like 10 minutes before class and I'm there on time. So sometimes I feel like, you know, it's hard to find our rhythm because we not necessarily have to stick to what we had before to still execute things on time. And another thing that happens, and I know I'm like this sometimes, is this sensation. I'm actually moving right now, so I feel the sensation doubly, I think, when, you know, it feels like the sense of scatteredness. Things are not in place, and you're like, okay, as soon as I get this room finished, or as soon as this happens, or as soon as things go back to normal, you'll feel the sense of, okay, you're finally back on track. So for some people, they have been not on track since March happened, and, you know, we were sent home. So it is a process that does take a while. And the question we want to ask is, you know, when things don't fall into place, what is it that you can do? Do you just, you know, sit and be like, well, I'm just gonna have to wait till 2021 comes and we're told that everything is back to normal, so I can start living life. You know, that many times we ask the question. I don't know if Alexis has anything to add to that.
No, that just really resonates with me. In the beginning, when we first, I mean, of course, everyone was saying like, oh, it's just gonna be like a couple months. I was like, oh, okay. In the beginning, I had a lot of things I wanted to do, but it did not turn out that way. I would have a few weeks where I really felt productive, or a few days. I'm not gonna say weeks. I'm not gonna say weeks. But I would have like 1 or 2 days where I was like, oh, I feel really good. I'm so productive. Like, this is going to be fine. And then 2 days later, the third day, I'd be like, what do I do now? So yeah, and that feeling of scatteredness, I got that a lot too, where I was like, well, I could clean out my closet. I could go paint. I can go do this. I can go do this, but I really should read. Oh, but I need to do that. And then it was like too many options. So like, maybe I won't do anything. But now that I've started working from home has become like a whole other thing. Because at first I was in my bedroom working in my like an office, and it was a bedroom, but that did not work because my room was like my place of comfort, and then I was working in it, and that was it was terrible. It was terrible. So then I moved to the other room, but then you have the kitchen right there. Like it has been a struggle, and being productive when the kitchen is so close has also been a struggle. So I was excited when our topic tonight was productivity, because I was like, yes, being at home, I feel like my productivity is going down because I'm so comfortable here.
Yeah, I think it's almost like you have to have a motivator sometimes. Like if it's your job and you have to get your job done, those things are going to get done. But when it's personal goals that you set and priorities, like for me, there are things that I've been saying for a really long time I need to do, like clearing up paper, like stacks of paper, going through them, or separating like piles of music and things like that. And what ended up happening is I found time to do new things and learn new skills, but I still did not tackle those things that I said, if only I had time. So I allocated my time to other things. So that idea of having a motivator to Like if it's something that you have to do, or if you have a deadline, like Naomi was saying, that structure helps a little bit.
That's so true, Ms. Mufumbu. I can definitely relate to that as well, because that is true. You know, we always say, if I had time, and then we have literally had like 6 months. And then when we look back, we're like, well, if I had realized that I had that time, maybe, I don't know if it's good or bad that we didn't know it was going to be 6 months. Because for some people, like, oh my goodness, I cannot take another week of this. And it has been literally 6 months. And maybe if we had known, we could have perhaps scheduled what we could have done. But the good news is we still have 3 more months left in this year, and I believe that we're not going back in those 3 months. So there you have it. If there was something you didn't schedule then, maybe you can schedule it now. But Ms. Mufumba said something interesting, a motivator, and deadline is a good motivator. And I don't know if anybody else wants to share any other motivator that you may have that helps you execute tasks.
Oh, go ahead, Robin. Okay.
No, I don't know what I want to say yet. You got it.
Okay. When Ms. Mufumbu said motivator, that quickly clicked with me because especially like maybe it's because of, I don't know, I was talking to my boss today, you know, telling him that I was feeling sluggish, and I don't know just what it was. I don't know if it's the weather, I don't know if it's COVID, I don't know if it's, you know, I'm homesick, like I don't know what it is, you know, but I for me personally, I know that my motivator is of course my family, but then also my fiance. So for me, it's definitely, and it's weird to think that, because I personally think that I'm very independent. Like I moved from San Diego to here, you know, without my parents, and my family didn't come. You know, I just kind of came and started school, and you know, after school, I just kind of worked, and you know, I just kind of did everything on my own. But after, I think after spending so much time with someone, or with your family, or whoever you're really close to, like you can really maybe not see it as dependent, but they can be that motivation, you know, for you. They can definitely at least, you know, even just, I don't know if you guys have someone in your life like that, but even just having their presence kind of just, you know, at least motivates you to do something, you know. For me, it's like being a little bit more productive, or, you know, I don't know, but that just kind of came to mind for me.
Yeah, thank you for sharing, Aurelie. Did you want to add anything to Robbie?
Yeah, I was gonna say kind of the opposite a little bit, because when she's talking about like due dates and motivators, sometimes like in school, really, like sometimes like a due date should motivate me sometimes, but lately, like it just doesn't grab my attention as much anymore. And I'm like, maybe not. So yeah, I really need to find a motivator for school, you know.
It's funny. And it's funny that you said your family motivates you, really, because that is true. When I wasn't working during COVID, I wouldn't want to stay in my room all day, because I was like, oh, my family is here. Let me go and see what they're up to. Let me do something. But now that everyone's back at work, it's like I'll be working, but I'll see Robbie on a break, and I'll want to hang out and go on a break too. So it's doing a little bit of the opposite of motivating me to like do what I need to do, because I see them walking around and I'm like, I want to go.
Yeah, they can definitely be a distraction for sure, you know, for sure.
Ana Carla, did you have anything to share with us?
Hi, sorry, I logged on a little bit late. I had orchestra, but I can definitely relate to everything that everyone is saying, especially because in college, a lot of these professors seem to think that because we're at home, because we're doing nothing, we have more time to do assignments and have extra work. And then that just, because I'm so panicked about everything that I have to do, I just sort of shut down, and I'm like, well, what happens, happens. And then I don't do anything. But yeah, I haven't found a solution for that yet.
Wow, you're preaching now, Ana Carla. I felt that at every word that you said. Yes, Ms. Mufumbu, as the representative of professors in this wonderful forum that we have here, you may want to talk to your fellow colleagues that we don't have all the time in the world, and then we take other classes.
our assignments get done within the class, except recordings, of course.
Right.
So, but yes, we'll see what we can do about that.
Right. And I feel like teachers, professors, they always feel like, that one class is all we're taking. So it doesn't matter if it's spring break or Thanksgiving break, they always find these wonderful things to give you to do while you're supposed to be on break. But perhaps that's a topic for a different session, different choir chats that we'll have.
This is true. Since this is for the youth and young adults, I'm not going to defend the educators of the world, but we're also trying to find the balance in this virtual space. So it's still a balancing act for everybody.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, like when Naomi, when you were talking about feeling scattered or feeling like you're stuck in a rut and can't get productive, like you would want to get productive, but you just can't seem to. Have any of you experienced pockets of those times during this COVID that you'd be willing to share about? Not the kind where you're just like, oh, I just don't feel like it, but where in your soul you want to, but you just can't because you feel so off balance with probably at the more towards the beginning or at any point.
I think for me, like before COVID started, I had like a very balanced day. I ate breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then after COVID, like during quarantine towards the beginning, I started getting off track. And like even now, trying to like get up and make sure I eat breakfast and get all my meals in and just try to stay like organized in that type of way is kind of difficult. Like I don't have like school or like sports or anything like that to keep me, I guess, leveled and making sure I remember to eat every day, like properly.
Thanks, Aisley.
I had a week, maybe like in May. It was still pretty, things were still pretty, kind of had just started, or we were just starting to accept that, oh, this is going to be reality for a while. And I had a week in May where I pretty much slept like the whole week, and I got out of bed maybe like 5 p.m. every day. And I'd wake up and be awake for just a few hours, and I would go back to bed. And I wasn't necessarily, I just didn't want to do anything. I don't know. I don't exactly know what's going on, but I did have one of those weeks. But for me, the Sabbath always resets me. So I'll have like a weird week, and the Sabbath, it just is like a reset button. And the next week, I feel differently. But I've definitely had those times where nothing is getting done. Yeah.
For me, sometimes, like now, because like school, sometimes I like want to be like active and doing like physically doing something all day, and then like the schoolwork comes, I'm like, I don't even want to be here doing this, I just want to like, ain't literally anything else. So I'll like be going back and forth with myself, and then like nothing happens because like, oh, I can't go run around because I got to my work. Like I don't want to do my work because I want to run around. So and then I end up doing nothing.
We've obviously really been struggling
Yeah.
with this house to stay motivated.
But we'll get there one day.
Okay, so here, for anyone that's watching, we have a mixed group of people that are in college, in high school, people that are working, and people that have just graduated and may not be fully employed at this time. So we do have a mixed bag of situations. Is there anyone on here that you're not in school and you're not working and you have to really create your own productivity for the day, and how do you go about setting your goals, or what are you doing with your time? Kind of an open question. Okay, so everyone is in school or gainfully employed. Oh, hallelujah, amen. Okay, so Naomi, I'll hand it back to you.
Yes, I was happy to see that too. I was like, okay, everybody's doing well. That's awesome. Group of scholars, I love it. So Aurelie had also mentioned something interesting in her talk, and she said the word that came to my mind was solutions. Some solutions that we find, And as Ms. Mfumbu was sharing, I was like, you know, I recently graduated, and I remember I was FaceTiming my friend, and she's like, "Mom, what you doing?" I'm like, "I'm creating a schedule." And she's like, "Wait, didn't you just graduate, and aren't we on summer break?" I was like, "No, I'm creating a schedule because, you know, sometimes you just want the sense of security, like Aisley was saying, structure, security. So you're like, okay, at this time I could have been doing this, even if I'm not doing it. Because sometimes, have you ever looked at the time you have ahead of you? This normally happens on Sundays. You think you have all this time, and there's two situations. There's this one time where you feel like you have all this time and nothing to do with it. And the other situation is you think you have all this time and then you blink and it's gone. I'm like, wait, I thought I had all this time ahead of me. So one of the solutions I found was create a schedule so I can see how productive or how much I could do in a day. So if I don't do it, I can be like, okay, I chose that day for me. And if I do it, I can be like, okay, good job. You did all this thing in one day. But as we're talking here about music and productivity, I'm actually very excited about what Aurelie will share on something that actually we came up with collectively that we have found how music can really help us navigate through that. And it's so interesting because I feel like people who love music are always trying to introduce music at everything that we do. But this happens so naturally. So the same way was like an aha moment for us, I hope you find a way to incorporate it as well in your daily schedule. So I'll pass it to you now, Aurelie.
Yeah, so I guess we can open the floor again to see like how we can incorporate music into what we do, or just any productivity tips that we may have. I personally have, I've always kind of had a planner, but I recently found this one planner. It's called Passion Planner. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. It's really great. It's and the one of the reasons why I wasn't really into planning is because I never really found something that was like for me, you know. But maybe a tip can be like finding an undated planner is really good for, especially for those of us who may be a little bit inconsistent. I know that, for example, my sister, she's like all over the place and she really doesn't like planning, but she got one of these undated planners and she was able to, just write in, kind of whenever she wanted to plan, and then just kind of like keep going. If she missed a day, it's fine because she wasn't gonna be wasting, paper or kind of like half of the year and not using it. And then also, I'm in my desk here, and sorry. And I actually decorate my planner with washi tape. So it's so I can make it as cute as I want, I can change it each week, so that's kind of like more on the artsy kind of, kind of maybe not incorporating music, but incorporating something artsy into your planning. And I see Ms. Lulu is really excited.
Listen, okay, somebody brought up planners. I may be a planner junkie, but well, okay, here's my excuse. I have multiple layers of projects going on in my life. And I couldn't find one planner that does everything that I needed to do. So I have 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I use, I don't use a passion planner, but I use one that's very similar. I use the law of attraction planner, and I use a happy planner. 2 different happy planners, one for teaching and one for my personal. And I decorate mine too. I'm going to show you mine. Since my excuse, I really brought it up. Part of my self-care routine on Sundays, literally, is to sit down with music and my washi tape and stickers and decorate my pages before I plan my week. It helps me. So I have my washi tape there and my so I have my bigger pages for my teaching and my smaller pages for my personal things and other things that I'm doing. So yes, thank you for giving me an opportunity.
I love it.
My planner, but the other one that I use, which is like the passion planner that Aurelie was saying, is the law of attraction planner. But the reason I like this one is because it has different pages in it that helps you like discover yourself, like really introspective. It helps you break down like 10-year goals to 5-year goals to 1-year goals to monthly, to break them down to monthly, weekly. How can you accomplish your larger goals by breaking them down into smaller tasks? You can learn a lot about yourself. I won't go too much into it. As you can tell, I'm very passionate about planners and planning. But if you're looking for planners that, I'm going to put a PSA in here, planners that help you set goals or bring your dreams into reality and you just don't know how, these planners can really help you break it down. And I'm going to stop talking about planners now, but I'm going to mute myself.
I love it. I love it so much. Yeah, definitely. Yes, and obviously there's so many different types of planners. And one tip that I give, if any of you guys haven't tried one or really gotten really serious, besides just Target planners, those are good, but there's other ones that are really, really, they can be accommodating to your life and your routine and what you want to do. And some of these, they actually have test pages online. So like you can print some, and just test it out for a week or whatever. And I found that really helpful to see, okay, well, does this work for me? Like, am I going to really use it? But yeah, any other ideas on how to be productive and maybe using music as well?
Well, I'll say something since my computer's about to die, just in case I disappear. I'll say my last words. And I don't have my charger here with me, so 10%. It says 10 minutes, so here we go. One thing that I do, you guys remember how I said exercise is not something that so sometimes this may not count. My sister always tells me, Naomi, that's not exercise, it's like physical activity. So sometimes I just play music and be active, and some would call it dancing, and others may say I'm crazy, but I just appreciate a very good active time, and I think my heart rate increases, which is good for the circulation of blood in your body. So I think that helps, staying with energy and lively. And also another thing that I do, I love learning new languages. So sometimes, let's say French, if I'm trying to really get into it, and that's actually how I learned English. It was through songs that I like. So, not just songs that I like, just music, period. So sometimes just finding a song, a cover of a song that I know, or just, songs that are popular, and I sing them in English. So, and in the beginning, a lot of my phrases were very lyrical because it was literally what I heard in a movie, in a song. So I would just say those phrases because that's what I knew. So it's a very good way I have found to learn. So if you're trying to learn a new language and you feel like, oh, I never have time for it, you can kill two birds with one stone. You already listen to music, so you might as well listen to the same songs you listen to, but in a different language.
That's a good tip. Yeah, especially like Whitley, you just said covers of songs that you already know. Same with movies, I feel like that can also help, to learn a new language specifically, like see, like be introduced to something that you're, that is foreign, but not really, you're kind of familiar with. Any others?
I know that music helps me, like whenever I have to do things like clean the house or, do the dishes or whatever. Especially when I'm doing the dishes, I have to be playing some music to help me to be able to get through it. And I just feel like listening to music while you have to be, productive or you have to clean, it really helps you to get the job done a little quicker, and it kind of helps you to have a better attitude about it. And I feel like when you have a better attitude about doing what you have to do, then it makes things a lot better, because when you don't, really feel great about what you have to do, then you might just end up, pushing it off and not really getting the job done. So I know for me, listening to music helps me to kind of hurry up and get things done a little quicker, and I kind of have like a better attitude about it. So.
Awesome. Yeah, that's very important. I think in the last choir chats, we were talking about gratitude, and just kind of how that changes your whole mood. It can really make a huge difference, in your day to day. So definitely. Any others? Maybe one last one, maybe.
I have a very similar system to Jasmine, where I'll turn on music if I need to do something that I don't necessarily want to do. Music will really help me do it, just like cleaning, or if I want to exercise, I'll be like, okay, I'll exercise for 4 songs and just really give it my all for 4 songs, like just 4 songs. And that kind of helps trick me into doing at least something. And then maybe I'll go longer, by that time you're like, okay, I can do more. But also I'll use music as a reward. So if I'm like, okay, if I finish this one project, then I can listen to this album in the shower, and that'll be a nice way to like reward myself after a hard day or something like that.
Yes.
Okay, I think we use music in different ways. It can be actively using it for something. For example, like you guys are saying, if you're working out or to get through washing the dishes, or just because you miss performing and singing and just want to sing or play your instrument or whatever it is, that does change your emotional affect. But what are some of the ways that some of the ways you use it actively, and some of the ways maybe you use it passively, where it's just in the background, but it's getting in there. But yeah, both active and passive examples of maybe of what you're using to be productive.
Yeah, I think for me, like for example, today here in Maryland, it was kind of very gray, in the morning. I was kind of sluggish, and I didn't really have, I don't know why I didn't have coffee today. Maybe it was that. But I think I was working, and I was trying to see, okay, well, what can, like, I don't know, just kind of get me in the mood of just being a little bit more productive, trying to, be focused. And I put on one of my favorite albums, recently, and just listened through the whole thing while working, so maybe, but I mean, I wasn't really, I had it on low volume. So like that, I don't know, it just kind of helped me to be more in tune into what I was doing. Yeah, so I was kind of passive. Same with classical music sometimes, or jazz. I'll just kind of put it in the background, and it kind of keeps your mind working too, I feel like, a little bit.
I will use background music if I'm working or coding or something that I usually won't do it with lyrics, because lyrics distract me, because then I start thinking about the song. But I'll do like the lo-fi steady beats. They have YouTube videos that are like 3 hours long, or lo-fi on Spotify, where it's like no lyrics, just beats, and it's quick little songs. But it kind of helps me keep pace a little bit and stay working.
Yeah, sometimes when I'm sitting around playing basketball, I have like headphones in that keeps me focused on what I'm doing. And like in one of my classes, I'm majoring in engineering, so like my engineering design class, that one, like, because it's not like a lot of like in-depth, like super strategical thinking, just like drawing basically, and that helps me stay focused too.
I was gonna say, I use music like passively, like to piggyback off of what Alexa said. I use it like to do work as well. But for me, lyrics don't distract me. I don't know. I feel like if I'm not doing like physical activity, lyrics don't really distract me. I don't know. I think that's just like me personally. I don't think anyone else has ever had that experience before, but I have to have lyrics. I don't know. I feel like if I'm listening to something so calm, I will fall asleep while I'm doing my homework. I have to have like something else to focus on, but at the same time, lyrics keep me focused. Like they put me in the mood to do homework, like, or to just do work in general, because I'll see like all of my homework just listed, and I'll be like, oh my gosh, I don't want to do this. But then I'll put on some music, and then my mood switches so quickly. So I mean, that really helps me.
Awesome. Any others?
Yeah, I'm with Alexis. I need when I'm working, usually it's something like jazz or something like that that helps to keep me focused. But if it's like choral music or anything that has lyrics in it, especially if I really like it, or even orchestral music, I'll start, conducting to whatever I'm listening to, like totally get lost in it. So it does have to be something that'll help me focus. Anyone else? Ways you use music or get into it to help you get through the day? Anna Carla?
Yes.
Miss Music Major.
Yeah.
So you're into, you do music all day. So how do you use it passively and actively in your productivity?
So a lot of my homework consists of analyzing music or writing about music or writing music. But when it doesn't, because I'm also an English major, I specifically, I will either look up, depending on my sleeplessness, I will either look up lit classical music, like verbatim, and there's this 10-hour playlist that just consists of like stuff like Tchaikovsky's like 1812 Overture, where they just like fire 21 cannons, like enough that like I can listen to it in the background, but it's still interesting enough to, keep me awake. Or I will listen to those weird hippie, like 925 hertz ambiance, meditation, focus, whatever those weird titles are. And then like 3 hours have gone by and I have finished all of my assignments, but I don't know what I put in them.
Oh.
Like they're done. I just don't know what's in them. And it seems to have worked for so far. So that's what I do.
All right.
I've heard the 9200 hertz one. I've heard that one too. It took me a while to find music I could actually study with, because like Valerie said, if it's too slow, it makes you so sleepy. So
Yes. Oh my gosh.
like I thought I was kind of like like a spa music person. I was like, oh, I'll be so relaxed doing this, but too relaxed, and you just want to go to bed. So there is a balance. There is a balance of like what keeps you focused and what just like zens you out.
Mm-hmm. Do any of you guys do brain dumps? Like if you're super busy and your head is full of stuff, or have you heard of the concept of doing a brain dump?
No.
Like in a notebook?
In a notebook. It can be in a notebook. It can be in your phone. As we were talking about planners, it's not just paper planners. Aurelia and I seem to like the paper because we can decorate it and use stickers. But they're digital planners and different types of things. But brain dumps are, especially when you're working or you have multiple projects going, or your head is just full of stuff. A brain dump is where you just write stuff. You can journal it, and there's things you can Google. Go on YouTube and find bullet journals for those of you that like bullet points and they're very precise. You can, if you want to break it up into family, into work, into social life, into assignments, you can break it up and then just dump out everything in your brain about all those different topics. And that can, one, relieve stress, and two, help you see what you need to prioritize for the week or for the day. Like weekly brain dumps are, like, for me, really help me to stay focused and not to forget things. And music too, you can find yourself doing a really long period of writing, and you can incorporate the gratitude and the other music music therapy techniques that Miss Kwan talked to us about last time. So different types of journals and brain dumps while you're listening to your music can really help you set goals and meet them. And yeah. So I think, is there anyone else that had something to share about how you use music passively and or actively? Okay, if not, we would like to challenge you if you're watching this, and even here that we, for those of us that have been talking, if we've heard something that resonates with us that you'd like to try next week, try something new to add to your productivity routine that you've heard on here, whether it's using the planners or setting music for a certain period of time to get your workout done or to get through tasks like washing dishes, your homework, whatever it is, to take one of the things that you've heard this evening and apply them. And let us know, send us notes on Sligo Youth and Young Adults. Sligo, yes, Sligo Young Adults and Sligo Youth, both of them have different social media pages, but you can let us know how you're doing with that and just put on there, this is for Sligo Youth and Young Adult Choir. And yes, hopefully you've heard something and it's been nice sharing, with you guys. Hopefully you've heard something that you can use and intentionally think about every day, how are you using music as a part of your daily routine. All right, do we have anyone else that had any final remarks before we call it a night? No, none. Okay. Again, this has been Sligo Youth and Young Adults. If you're looking for a community of singers and a group of young people that talk about things like this, and we'll have other topics coming up, please join us. You can leave us a note again on the social media or the Sligo Youth at sligochurch.org is the email address for Sligo Youth. And is it Young Adults? Sligo Young Adults? I don't remember the email for we'll put that in the social media. Thanks for you to be able to let us know if you'd like to join us. But thank you so much for being with us this evening. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Katarina is not with us this evening. She made the video with Bree and Naomi to help to put that together. Bree is helping us stream this evening. Thank you. And thank you, everybody, for your participation. Robbie, would you close us out in prayer?
Yeah, I can do that. All right, bow your heads.
Thank you.
All right. Dear Lord, thank you for bringing us all together. Even though it wasn't in person, we still got to talk about a lot of ways how to be productive. We got to hear others' opinions, see what we're all challenging with. Please be with us as we continue to progress and make progress on our productivity and help us all to continue to use music to help us throughout our day. Just in the name I pray, amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you guys and have a good evening.
Good night.
Bye. Have a good night.
Good night.
Bye.
We've been young adults of Sligo.